Imagine sitting alone in an airport, tears streaming down your face, knowing you might never see your mother again. And then, a stranger steps in to change everything. That's the story of Lucas, a young soldier facing heartbreak and helplessness in the busiest moments of his life. But before we dive deeper into what happened, I want to know, where are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments below and let's connect, because kindness knows no borders. Let's get started. Amelia, a kind-hearted woman in her early 40s, found herself waiting at the bustling Denver International Airport on a chilly autumn afternoon. The terminal was alive with the hum of travelers rushing to their gates, families reuniting, and the distant calls of flight announcements echoing overhead. Amelia had always been a compassionate soul, working as a librarian in a small town nearby, but today, something felt different. As she sipped her coffee, her eyes caught a young man sitting alone on a bench, his shoulders trembling as silent tears streamed down his face. The airport's noise faded around her as she noticed the depth of his sorrow. Unlike the crowd that hurried past, Amelia felt drawn to this stranger's pain, sensing a story waiting to be told. The young soldier seemed isolated in his grief, a stark contrast to the busy world surrounding him. Little did she know, this chance encounter was about to change not only his life but hers as well. As Amelia approached the young soldier, her heart ached at the sight of his broken composure. "Hey, are you okay?" she asked gently, her voice barely above the airport's constant murmur. The soldier looked up, startled but relieved to see someone willing to listen. His name was Lucas, just 22 years old, recently returned from deployment overseas. With a trembling voice, he shared the devastating news: his mother had passed away unexpectedly, and he desperately needed to catch an earlier flight home to be with his family. But there was a catch. His military allowance barely covered his current ticket, and the cost to change it was far beyond his means. Lucas explained how he had spent the last few days trying to scrape together enough money, asking friends and fellow soldiers for help, but no one could lend him the full amount. His eyes brimmed with frustration and helplessness, a stark contrast to the strong, disciplined soldier he usually portrayed. Moved by his story, Amelia didn't hesitate. She knew that time was precious for Lucas and his family. Without thinking twice, she pulled out her credit card and offered to cover the cost of the ticket change. At first, Lucas refused, overwhelmed by her kindness, but Amelia insisted. Some gestures needed no explanation. The gratitude in Lucas's eyes was profound. That simple act of generosity gave him the chance to say goodbye to his mother, to find closure in a moment of unbearable loss. For Amelia, it was more than just paying for a ticket, it was a profound reminder of the power of compassion in a world that often felt rushed and indifferent. As they parted ways, neither could have guessed how far-reaching that single moment of kindness would be. Amelia returned to her seat, her heart a little fuller, unaware that this fleeting connection was about to open a door to something extraordinary. About a month after their encounter at Denver International Airport, Amelia was going about her usual routine at the local library when an unexpected envelope arrived in her mailbox. It was large, official-looking, embossed with the seal of the United States government. Her name was carefully handwritten on the front in elegant script. With a curious but cautious heart, she opened it and found a letter from the White House itself, signed by none other than the President of the United States. The letter revealed something Amelia had never imagined. Lucas, the young soldier she helped, was the son of a high-ranking military general. The act of kindness she showed had touched the highest levels of government and the Department of Defense. Her selfless gesture had not only allowed Lucas to be with his family during a critical time but had also become a symbol of compassion and humanity that the nation needed to remember. The letter extended a formal invitation for Amelia to travel to Washington, D.C. to attend a prestigious ceremony honoring ordinary citizens whose extraordinary acts of kindness had made a profound impact on the community and country. This recognition was more than just a personal thank you, it was a testament to how a small act could ripple outwards, inspiring others and strengthening the bonds of a nation. Amelia felt a mixture of disbelief, pride, and humility. She had acted without thought of reward or recognition, simply because it was the right thing to do. Now, she was about to step into a moment that would change her life forever, standing among heroes of everyday kindness whose stories were rarely told but deeply felt. This unexpected honor was a powerful reminder. Sometimes, the simplest actions, like helping a stranger in need, can echo far beyond what we ever imagined. As Amelia prepared for her trip to Washington, D.C., she found herself reflecting deeply on the ripple effects of kindness. What began as a spontaneous decision to help a grieving soldier had transformed her understanding of compassion and human connection. The invitation from the White House wasn't just an honor, it was a profound lesson in how the smallest gestures can hold the greatest meaning. Arriving at the ceremony, Amelia was struck by the presence of others who had also been quietly changing lives in their own ways, teachers who had saved struggling students, neighbors who had risked everything to help strangers, and everyday citizens who had bridged divides with empathy. In this room filled with humble heroes, Amelia realized she was part of a larger story, one that transcended individual moments and echoed the very best of humanity. She thought about Lucas, how his pain and her kindness had intersected briefly but powerfully. For Lucas, her action was a lifeline in a moment of despair. For Amelia, it was a call to see the world differently, to recognize that kindness is a force capable of changing lives in ways we often cannot predict. Amelia also reflected on the countless people she had passed by every day without a second glance, the lonely, the struggling, the unseen. Now, her eyes were open to the quiet battles everyone faces and the potential each person holds to make a difference. The ceremony wasn't just a recognition of her deed, it was a shift in perspective, a reminder that empathy must be practiced actively, with courage and heart. As she listened to speeches and shared stories, Amelia felt an overwhelming sense of connection and responsibility. The world, she realized, was a place where ordinary people could be extraordinary simply by choosing kindness. And sometimes, that choice could ripple into places as far-reaching as the highest office in the land. After the ceremony in Washington, D.C., Amelia returned home with a renewed sense of purpose. The recognition she received was not just a personal honor, it opened doors to opportunities she had never dreamed of. Invitations poured in from community organizations, veterans groups, and charitable foundations, each eager for her to share her story and inspire others. One unexpected invitation came from a nonprofit dedicated to supporting military families in crisis. They asked Amelia to join their advisory board, hoping her experience and compassion could help shape programs to aid those facing hardships like Lucas's family had. For Amelia, this was more than an opportunity, it was a chance to turn a single moment of kindness into lasting change for many. She began speaking at events, schools, and local gatherings, emphasizing how simple acts of generosity could create a powerful impact. Her story resonated deeply with audiences, especially older adults who often felt overlooked but realized they could still make a difference. Through these engagements, Amelia built a network of like-minded individuals committed to kindness and service. Moreover, Amelia found herself collaborating with government agencies to develop outreach programs that connected citizens with veterans in need. Her unique perspective as an everyday person who had touched lives helped bridge gaps between communities and the military. This new chapter in Amelia's life was filled with purpose and passion. What started as a quiet gesture at an airport now fueled a movement, encouraging others to act with empathy and courage. The opportunity to inspire change was a gift Amelia embraced wholeheartedly, proving that one person's kindness can ignite a chain reaction of hope and healing. As Amelia immersed herself in her new role as an advocate for kindness and support, she experienced a profound personal transformation. The once reserved librarian from a quiet town was now a confident voice inspiring others to embrace empathy in everyday life. Her journey was not without challenges. Balancing her community work with personal life required resilience and adaptability, but each hurdle strengthened her commitment. Amelia's encounters with veterans and their families deepened her understanding of sacrifice and courage. Listening to their stories of loss, hope, and perseverance ignited a fierce determination within her to be more than just a bystander. She learned to navigate complex emotional landscapes, offering not just financial help but genuine human connection, something many in crisis desperately needed. Her growth also extended beyond advocacy. Amelia found herself developing leadership skills, public speaking abilities, and a network of supportive allies. Each speech she gave, each person she helped, added layers to her confidence and sense of purpose. The humility that once defined her became a foundation for strength rather than limitation. Through this journey, Amelia discovered that true growth often arises from vulnerability and compassion. By opening her heart to one stranger's pain, she unlocked a reservoir of courage and influence she never knew she had. Her life was no longer confined by routine. It was a testament to how kindness can reshape not only the lives of others but one's own destiny. The day Amelia stood on the grand stage in Washington, D.C., surrounded by applause and the glow of recognition, she felt a surge of emotions unlike any she had ever experienced. This moment was the culmination of a simple act, a decision made in a crowded airport that would resonate far beyond her imagination. She realized that true heroism doesn't always wear a uniform. Sometimes, it's found in the quiet kindness of strangers willing to help when it matters most. Amelia's story had touched hearts across the nation, reminding people that everyone has the power to make a difference, no matter how small the action may seem. She became a symbol of hope, proving that compassion is contagious and can break down barriers of loneliness, grief, and despair. Reflecting on her journey, Amelia understood that life's most meaningful moments often come from unexpected places. It's in reaching out to another human being with empathy and courage that we find our shared humanity and purpose. The ripple effect of kindness creates waves of change that extend far beyond the original act, inspiring communities and even nations to embrace compassion. Her experience transformed not just her own life but countless others. She encouraged everyone watching and listening to seek out opportunities to give, to listen, and to care deeply. Because sometimes, it's the smallest gestures, like offering a helping hand to a grieving soldier, that ignite the brightest sparks of hope. Amelia's journey reminds us all that we hold the power to change the world, one act of kindness at a time. In a world often filled with noise and division, her story shines as a beacon of light, proving that humanity's greatest strength lies in our capacity to love and support one another. The story of Amelia and Lucas teaches us a timeless lesson: kindness has immeasurable power. Even the smallest gestures can profoundly affect lives in ways we may never fully understand. When we take a moment to show empathy, to offer help without hesitation, we become catalysts for hope and healing. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes the simplest acts, like paying for a ticket or offering a listening ear, can be the difference between despair and comfort. Amelia's experience reminds us that we never know how far our kindness might reach or who it might touch. In our daily lives, we can all embrace Amelia's example by being attentive to the struggles of those around us. Whether it's a stranger in need, a neighbor facing hardship, or a family member going through a tough time, offering support can create meaningful change. Simple actions, like donating to a cause, volunteering time, or even offering words of encouragement, build a foundation of compassion in our communities. Remember, true kindness is unconditional and doesn't wait for recognition. It starts with noticing the small moments and choosing to act. By doing so, we create a ripple effect that can inspire others to do the same, fostering a more caring and connected world. If this story touched your heart, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. What act of kindness has changed your life? We'd love to hear from you.